Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, I am just going to tell you straight up, I am not feeling so hot today. I had my booster yesterday and I just feel not so good. So we're going to get through it though. Just might not have my normal energy level. It's the weirdest feeling. Has anybody had their booster yet? It's the weirdest feeling. I just feel off. You can't really describe it. I don't feel bad, but I don't feel good. Anyways. Armand, you had your booster. You didn't feel so good, did you?
I didn't feel great. I can't say I felt lousy, kind of in between there. But more than anything else, I got that tired feeling again. So like the second booster, the first was a breeze.
Yeah.
First vaccination was
The
a
second
breeze.
one knocked me out. So I'm just happy that I don't feel knocked out, but I don't feel great. But anyways, I just wanted to tell you, I think my energy level is probably just a little bit different than normal. All right. Well, while we wait, we got lots of things to cover today though. So while we wait for everybody to get here, why don't you tell me, Joseph, we don't get to talk to you very often. We see your name on Tuesdays because you're at work. Tell us how things are going. What's your wins in November? What's your challenges?
So challenge was that I just didn't hit my yearly goal. And so next week I'm going to be sitting down and working on that. My win is that I have a closing that's supposed to happen next week.
Awesome.
And I also have a meeting that I'm going to this afternoon for another house that is a real estate or a estate sale.
Very good.
I'm not quite clear on what to do with an estate sale.
Well, really, the only difference on the estate, two main differences on an estate sale. One is that they won't be filling out a sales disclosure. That's one of the things that doesn't have to happen in a estate. They don't have prior knowledge of the house, so they don't have to do that. The other thing is that you need to get copies of the estate documents, particularly the document that assigns the person to be the personal representative or executor, executrix, whatever they call it. Because that is your client and that's who is going to sign, and they're going to sign everything, the estate of the deceased name by their name. And then whether it got appointed, it depends on the attorney, whether they call it a personal representative, an executor, an executrix, which is a female version of executor. So, and beyond that, it's pretty much just a standard transaction.
Okay.
Now, let's have a talk a minute about as is, because a lot of your estates are going to tell you they want to sell as is. And we've talked about as is a lot in our workshops. Do anybody remember about what's important about as is?
It's better for the buyer.
It's better for the buyer. So the estate probably doesn't want to actually list it as an as is sale. You can put in agent to agent comments that this is an estate sale and the seller is going to be unable to make repairs.
Okay.
Then they don't have the easy out, right? Because with an estate, there's no doubt if they do know there's any defects with the property, even though they don't have an obligation to fill out the sales disclosure form, if there are issues with the property, I would go ahead and disclose those in the agent to agent comments, right? Or they can go ahead and fill out a sales disclosure if they do have knowledge of the property. And then I would put in the comments that this is an estate property, on the back page of the seller's disclosure, I would put, this is an estate property and the executor has filled this out to the best of their ability, right? So then there's no misunderstanding that it's being, that there's that warranty that they've done it all right. This is fun. I look like I have a sun mustache, don't I?
I was kind of wondering, I don't have my glasses on, but I was wondering what that was.
It's the sun coming in the window. I just need to back up a little bit, I guess.
So I have one more quick question. So the closing, or the one that I had pending this week, the escrow check, I thought typically went to the seller's agency, but they said they sent it to the title company.
Okay. Help me out. Are you the buyer or the seller?
I'm the seller's agent.
You're the seller's agent. So as a seller's agent, you should have told them where to send the earnest money check. You should have told them, make the check payable to Keller Williams and send it. So if they didn't send it to Keller Williams, it's not a problem. If they send it to the title company, I would just get a copy of the check.
Because I was holding off on switching it to pending until that, but I'll go ahead and switch it over and get a copy of the check.
Get a copy of the check and then you can switch it over. And that's a good point too. Shelley, I don't know how it is in Kentucky, but here there's a mixed school of thought on that switching to pending, waiting on the earnest money. I always went ahead and made it pending because I could always take it off pending and explain what happened. But the reason why I did that is I didn't want people to still be seeing the property. I mean, we're under contract, so I couldn't accept another contract. And I, especially in the market where the sellers or the buyers are having a hard time finding a home and competing, I usually make it pending. Almost.
We
always
have
pending.
3 days here, of course, to get the earnest money and the good faith. You know, I've never heard of anybody saying, you know, changing the status in regards to that check.
So it goes pending before they goes same as I'm saying. It goes pending when they're under contract.
Yeah, I hadn't heard if anybody had done that or not. My team, we're pretty tight on that 3-day time frame. So that's not really happened on our team as far as I know. So yeah, I don't have a good answer for that one down here.
Okay. Well, Joseph, you can do whichever you want. That's what I just wanted to mention that. You can either wait and go pending once you receive the earnest money, or now that you know the title company's got it, just get a copy of it or confirm with the title company, which you can't do. It's a Saturday, so you're gonna have to get a copy.
Okay.
And then in the future, when you're the listing agent and you go under contract, just send instructions to the buyer's agent as to where the money should be, the earnest money should be delivered. That's the easiest way, but it's fine if it goes to the title company too.
Okay.
As long as the title company's okay with that.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Who picked the title company?
The buyer,
Okay.
investment property. So
Yeah. So that's a good point, Joseph. The investors are notorious for having their own title company and wanting their title company to be in control of everything. So
yeah, so this is a hard money loan. So I mean,
yeah.
from seller's agent, is there any quirky things that I should be aware of?
No, you're just gonna want. Do you have a short closing?
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. You're just gonna need to keep in contact with them, make sure you're on target to go fast.
Okay.
That's awesome. All right, let's go back where you started in the beginning. You started with your challenge was that you didn't meet your annual goal.
Right.
Well, it's only December 4th.
Mhm.
We're going to talk about December here in a little bit. But what do you think, Joseph, was the biggest reason why you didn't meet your annual goal this year?
Phone calls.
Phone calls. Okay.
Yep.
So what are you going to do in 2022 to make sure that you get all of your conversations in?
I have to start forcing myself to make phone calls during the day at work. So
Okay. So you're going to find some time on your calendar at work to make calls.
yes,
Okay.
on my
All right.
lunch hour.
On your lunch hour. Okay. I like the plan. All right. Who else? Who else has a win you want to talk about this week? Challenge you have? Jay, did you get your calls in? Hang on, Armand. Jay, did you get your calls in yesterday? Look, he's going to stay on mute and not talk to me because I asked him that question.
He's laughing.
He is. Did you get your calls in yesterday? Yes, Jay Hill.
No, but yes.
Now, wait a minute. You either did or you didn't. Did you make your dials yesterday?
No, I didn't make all of them, but I got a lot of conversations in yesterday, talking to
Okay.
folks.
What kept you from making all the dials that you had committed to doing? Committed to yourself that you were going to make?
I lied to myself. Tell the truth. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to do it because I've just been busy, but I wanted to just keep trying to push myself. And I got to a certain, I don't know, just moving around. Some days I did a lot of driving, some days I didn't. And then the days I was at home, I was kind of catching up on other stuff. So I only did so many dials as I could. And then I got busy doing other stuff. So I didn't focus on dialing as much as I should have. So that was really the main thing.
Can you put on your calendar next week some place that is just dial time?
Yes, I can.
Make an appointment with yourself, dial time. This is my dial time. I'm gonna make dials during this time.
So like a lot of times I was driving and I was like, okay, I'm gonna call people. So I called a few people, left a couple messages, but then it was one person I called. We kind of went back and forth because the whole phone thing, then I got frustrated, so I hung up.
You got frustrated because of the what?
It was going back and forth. Like I was like, hello. And I was trying to get my,
Oh, yeah,
my
bad signal.
yeah, bad signal.
Right.
So it was like it
Now,
kept
now they go in
dying,
your
so.
follow-up bucket, right? So now they're in your follow-up bucket?
But like I said, I was just looking at my desk. I have like 5 people that I need to enter into command from
Okay.
talking to them. So I didn't really do the dialing, but I did have the actual conversations that I would have had if I dialed.
Have people, okay, I love that. All right, Armand, what were you gonna say?
Challenge. I've, the open house that I have is a condo. Some condo complexes are very particular about where you can put up your signs. And I haven't gotten an agent response on that yet. I mean, they answered all the rest of the questions. After we get done with this workshop, then I've got to make a phone call to try to help a customer walk through Credit Karma. Or I guess with that, I should say potential customer. But and then I've got a for sale by owner preview to do. So it's trying to find the time to try to hound the agent to get an answer on signs. I got a note back this morning that the manager of the complex, I had to try to track that down because they had gone through 3 management companies. And the third one has manager out there that is just not, is out of town until Monday. So I can't get an answer from them.
Well, so let me ask you a question. What if you operated under the theory of, if I make a mistake, I'll apologize, and you just go put your signs out?
Yeah, that's one I think I'm gonna end up having.
I have
Especially if the
managers out of town, what are they gonna do about it?
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
I wouldn't worry about hounding anybody with the phone. I would just operate under that. I'll just put them out and say, I'm sorry.
Well, when I do go over there, I'm gonna see if there's an on-site office, and I'm gonna see if I can find out from whoever's on at the moment. But
Now,
if
what's
there
the
is
great thing about
on-site-
having an open house in a condo community? Anybody think of some real big advantage to doing an open house in a condo community?
It's
You
really
can
easy.
get
Door
more-
knocking, not very many steps.
Right.
One,
That's not
right?
the first thing I was
You've
gonna
got
say.
a very consolidated group of potential sellers or buyers. Why might there be buyers in a condo community?
Well,
Looking to change.
If they're renting, right? A lot of the condos are investment properties.
or if
So-
they're in a smaller condo than they want, and you're advertising a larger condo, then that would be another reason.
I
Because
love condos and I love open houses and condos. Even if I can't put signs out, as long as I door knock and put flyers on all the doors, it was great open houses. Now, if I just showed up and expected people to show up, just like any open house, it wasn't really very beneficial.
Which that's another thing I need to do is come up with a flyer real quick on the fly.
They are in your PC library. All you have to do is put the address in the PC library in the open house folder. My flyers are in there. Just says you're invited. Pretty simple. Nothing
Okay.
fancy. Doesn't need to be fancy, but they're all in that folder. So you can do it on the fly real quick. Just open it up and type in your address and print it.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Anybody else have a challenge you want to go over? For those of you that didn't hear, my challenge today is that, I don't know if you can tell, but I really don't feel very good. I had my booster shot yesterday, and So we may not make it the full 2 hours, but I got a whole list of things that I want to cover with you guys. So we're going to make sure we cover them. So if nobody has another challenge, we're going to just jump in. We have to do this part because Keen made the PowerPoint. And you guys will tell on me if I made him do the PowerPoint, then we didn't do it. So let me ask you guys a question. What is your biggest what are some of your biggest challenges about staying on target for your goals in December? We've been talking about this a little all week, but just summarize them for me. What do you think? Everybody tell me, what do you think is your biggest challenge or your biggest 2 or 3 challenges in December?
Stuff to
Time
do.
and scheduling.
That was everybody all at once. I love it.
Invitations. Yeah,
All
invitations.
right. Invitations, things to do, lots of extra things on our calendar. What else? What was you
Christmas
saying? Christmas shopping. Yes.
Just general distractions again. They're still there. They're always there.
They're
so.
always there and they get exaggerated in December, don't they?
Well, because you get stressed with all the other things, and so it becomes yet more of a challenge. When you're stressed, you tend to make mountains out of molehills.
Mhm.
Seriously.
Absolutely. Yes, Miss Annie.
So I take those challenges and make them into opportunities because like there's lots of Christmas events. Last night I went to a Christmas, gathering. And there was probably about 25 gals there. And my friend was showing off this new condo that she bought. And it's absolutely gorgeous anyways. But so one of the other gals mentioned that I was in real estate. So at that point, I was thinking about it. I was waiting a little longer, but at that point, I actually got 2 opportunities, throughout the night by talking to people. And I gave a bunch of people my card, so some other people are thinking about it. So sometimes in your busy schedule with all your social activities, you can make it opportunities as well.
I love that. That's going to just tie right into this little PowerPoint. So let's just run through this real quick and see if there's anything in here that we can add to what Annie just said that's helpful. All right. So the first tip is keep reminding yourself that if you stay on task, you're going to get ahead of all the other agents. So what happens to most seasoned agents? Shelley, I know Rhonda tells you this all the time. What happens?
Oh, they take the holidays off.
They do the bare minimum or nothing. They
Or nothing.
stop lead generating. They
Right.
only work their book of business and they stop lead generating. If we do not lead generate in December, what happens to February and March?
You don't get to eat.
Well, you're not going to get a paycheck. I mean, maybe, hopefully you can still eat. I mean, that would really, that'd be awful. That'd be
Right.
awful. But you're not going to get a paycheck in February and March. Who here would like to have closings in February and March? Is there anybody who does not want a closing in February or March? If you want a closing in February and March, you have to lead generate in December. And December is a gift. It's the easiest month, in my opinion, to lead generate, because who here thinks I don't like to call my sphere because they're going to think I want something? Does that thought ever go through your head? Well, they aren't going to think that in December. They're going to think how awesome it is that you are calling to wish them a happy holiday and see how their holidays are going. So, all right. So the other thing is time block, right? As long as you time block for the things that you need to do. What are the 5 things that you need to do to be successful in real estate? What are the 5 things you have to stay consistent doing in December?
Lead gen.
Lead gen?
Time block.
Yes, time block. You're time blocking for these 5 things. What are they? What are your 5 job responsibilities?
Phone calls.
Phone calls. That's lead gen. Yep. Lead follow-up.
Good practice.
Script practice. What's the 4th one? Go on appointments. Boy, I suck as a coach if you guys don't know these things. Go on appointments, and then the book tells you negotiate contracts, but I call it your business admin time, right? Because we have to do that business admin time. What a lot of agents like to do is only do that business admin time. They mistake being busy for being productive, right? So we have to do all 5 things: lead generate, lead follow-up, script practice and role play, go on appointments, and do our business admin stuff. And if we don't have appointments to go on, what do we do?
More phone calls.
More lead gen. Yes. Okay. So put your holiday stuff on your calendar, and then make sure you have time for those 5 things on your calendar. And then you're not going to get off track, right? If you don't time block for your holiday activities, you're going to get in trouble. All right. I know this is a little contrary to what I normally tell you, but you need to have a time block within your lead generation time. You need to have a small portion of that to be lead gen, to be social media. If you think that social media time is all you need to do for lead generation, you are not, I'm sorry, but I can't sugarcoat things today. You are not going to be successful. You cannot think that social media is going to be the only thing you need to do to be successful in this business and expect to be successful. So this says ban yourself from social media during your work hours, unless of course you're doing some social media marketing, prospecting work. In that case, log in, do your work, and get out of there as quick as possible. Why do I say this in December particularly?
Go down that rabbit hole.
Oh, has anybody been there?
Oh,
Has
no.
anybody get logged on, and then 3 hours later you realize you have an appointment, you did not make a single phone call, and you spent your entire time on social media? So be honest with yourself, right? I can't do that. That is not going to help me have a closing in February or March. So I need to make sure I limit it shouldn't maybe say ban, it should just say limit the amount of time you're on social media. You want to be on social media, you want to go in there, put your video in, and get off. Speaking of videos, Shelly,
Yes, ma'am.
I forgot to ask, how was yesterday?
Hold on, let me turn my video back on. So I'm running around and I'm listening, and so I don't want to be distracting. Yesterday was wild. So basically we did a reverse bold. So instead of us calling 100 people, hopefully 100 people called us. So I stopped counting after 30. I was between 30 and 40, I think. And it was great. We had 1,800 people in our office in the drawing, and somebody won a $5,000 shopping spree to the outlet mall here. And Dan called me, and his wife called me, and Joni Markle called me. So that was nice. They all got entered. But you all, listen, here's the thing too. And I wanted to point this out when you were talking about it earlier, Carla. So a lot of people get scared, or they get nervous, or they get all twisted about calling people they know. So yesterday it was people calling me that I knew. So I'm like, oh, I'm so glad to hear you. Okay, so who do you know? Who do you know that can help me? Who do you know that wants to buy or sell a house? Who's complaining about their commute? Who hates their neighbors? What did you hear at Thanksgiving? People were coming out of the woodwork with people's names. I mean, it was amazing.
How many referrals did you get?
Yeah. How many referrals did I get? Between 5 and 10.
I love it.
I got a lot.
Count them up, because you want to know, right? You
Yeah.
want to know how much you got, because you spent $100, right?
Yes.
So you spent $100, and remember, red light, green light. Spend
Yes.
$100. Now we need to make sure we make that $100 back, right?
Right.
So you
Yep.
need to take a look at how many referrals did I get, and then track that business. So if one
Yes.
of those close, it might be 6 months from now,
Oh, sure.
longer, you can tie it back, right? So however you need to tag them in Boomtown, so that you can tag them that they were from the reverse bold, because you want to know, right? When I was at the regional meeting, there was a panel of 3 people that got up and talked about these reverse bolds, and they could say exactly how much they spent and how much business it generated for them, how many referrals they got, those kind of things. So
Yeah.
so focus on that. But I knew that was going to be big.
Yeah,
But
it was a good
I
time.
don't know if you guys saw, Shelly did an awesome job with her social media. leading up to it, which is why that made me think of it. So, but you can't just spend your entire 3-hour lead gen block on social media. And I just want to be really realistic with you guys here and say that's just not going to work. All right. So the next one is not to let the phone calls go too long. So does anybody find that at the holidays you call people, you call friends or family, and you can't get off the phone? So now you've got a 3-hour time block of lead gen and you have talked to 2 people. Is this an experience that anybody has had? All right,
Yeah.
so we're going to talk about this here for a little bit. Okay, so this is a great time to catch up, but we're going to have a strategy for ending the conversation. So you want to have a goal, right? So whatever your goal is, how many conversations you need to have, you're going to have a block of time to make that, and you just need to stick to it, right? So here is the strategy for ending a conversation. All right, focus on the conversation. So what was your purpose, right? Even if it means you're going to write yourself down a little list, right? I have to make a list because I can go on and on and on with you guys, right? I don't even feel good and I'm just all over the place talking today. So, you know, make a list of these are the things I want to make sure I include in the conversation. What would be on your list of things that you want to include in the conversation for your holiday call?
When you first get on the conversation, tell them that you have only whatever 5 minutes
Love
to
that.
talk. And as long as you tell them that, and then at the end, okay, 5 minutes is up, whatever, Tommy, I'm sorry, but I do have to go. Is there anything else real quick that I might do for you right at this particular moment, or a question that I need to answer right away?
I love that.
And then you're giving them an extra minute. They'll appreciate that.
So tell me, what do you need to make sure you get out of the call so that it's a successful call?
If they know I'm doing real estate.
Yes, you have to mention real estate or it doesn't count as a conversation, right? So we have to remind them, right? Remember, it takes 13 days for someone to forget you're in real estate. You might find that hard to believe, but it's true, right? You got to remind them you're in real estate, however that might be. Well, I was at a closing the other night, or I was showing a house the other day. There's all kinds of ways that you can do that, right? It made me think of you. I saw this fireplace and it reminded me of the fireplace in your home when you grew up, or whatever it is that you throw in there. I was showing a house. It's all you have to do to tell them you're in real estate, right? So you want to tell them you're in real estate. Make sure you mention real estate. What else? Well, it's
Ask if they know
Christmas time.
anybody
You're going to
that's
wish them a
looking.
happy holiday, right? What was you
Yeah.
saying, Dan?
Ask if they know anybody that's looking to buy or sell.
Ask for a referral. And the way I do that, so I was never that person that was just like, hey, do you want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? I hate that script, right? So my line was always, before we go, I just wanted to check in with you. Do you know anyone who might need my help? Right? That would be one way to do it. Another way that's really good right now, this time of the year, is to say, hey, this covers several bases. Think about this. Hey, before I let you go, I just wanted to check in with you. I am setting my calendar for first and second quarter in 2022. And are you going to have any real estate needs coming up? I want to make sure I have you on my calendar. If you do, you're important to me. Right? Now I've brought up real estate and ask them if they need some business at the same time. If you get on the phone with them and you don't mention real estate and you don't ask them if they need your help and you don't ask for referrals, what was the point of the call?
Social.
It was just purely social, right? So, but Armand is exactly right. Remember, it's a business call, right? So if they start telling, like this says it, so example, somebody's just told you some juicy gossip, don't ask about it. Don't dive into it. Remember, this is a business call. You might say, you know what, I am at work right now, but I would love to hear more about that. How about I give you a call back? Or how about we go get coffee if it's really juicy, right? But get off that call. Move it, make another appointment. If it's going really long, make an appointment on your calendar, not in your lead gen time, to continue the conversation. Okay. Wait for a lull. right? All conversations have pauses. Wait for the speaker to pause and explain that you need to get off the phone, just like Armand was saying. You ever been on the phone with somebody though that never breathes? They just go on and 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 on. You can't breathe. At some
My
point,
daughter.
at some point, you may have to interrupt and just say, you know what, I am so sorry. I am so interested in what you're saying, but I had another call scheduled. All right, just be polite about it. All right, this is the interrupt. See, I jumped ahead of myself. So I love this. I would never say this. You read this line that's here. It says, I'm sorry to interrupt, but my dog just threw up and I need to check on him. This is not going to be the line that I'm going to use. I would just be honest, right? I would just say, you know what? You could say somebody's knocking on the door though. Could you do that? Somebody's not, if they really won't let you go, could you say, I am so sorry. Somebody is knocking on my door, right? You could do that. If you need,
You can always tell a little fib and say, oh, I'm getting another call and I have to take this. It's my boss.
Yeah.
I've
that's
had
good.
that one pulled on me before.
I just say I have a meeting at such and such a time, which is like, 3 minutes from whatever, I have a Zoom meeting that I have to be on, something like that.
Yep.
That's this one, right? That's what Armand started off with. Give them a time warning, right? Let them know what that looks like. And then saying goodbye, just tell them how much you enjoyed talking to them. And like I said, you can always schedule another time to talk to them some more, right? So, and then that's it. Plan to talk again. And here's the thing. If you had a really great conversation and it's like, could you say, hey, I'd love to get back in touch with you after the holidays. When would be a good time in January for us to get together, right? Especially if it's a connector. Have you guys all been able to go through your database and identify your connectors? Do you remember when we talked about connectors? Do you know what we're talking about? Shelly is
No, I'm not too sure.
Shelly is a connector. Shelly, tell everybody what a connector is.
So a connector is somebody who knows other people. So I do a lot of networking, and somebody will say something like, oh, my client last week, I want to have my house thoroughly cleaned before I sell it. Do you know anybody? I'm like, sure do. So connected him with a cleaning company, and he got his house cleaned, and then we closed it last week.
And so why would we want to identify the connectors in our own database? Anybody got an idea?
Information.
Get them to work for you.
They're your marketing department, right? They are going to be your marketing department. These are going to be the people that are going to be more likely to refer people to you. So we want to identify them. Now, if we identify really good connectors and they don't, for whatever reason, aren't going to be good, they aren't going to be needing to buy or sell, and they're not looking to invest in real estate in the next year, do you think it'd be a good idea if we still made appointments with them to get together in person? What's this business all about that we're in?
Building
Relationships, right? So find out about, can you have coffee before Christmas? Can you have coffee after Christmas? Those are good appointments to go on. They may not be appointments that are going to lead immediately to a buyer or seller contract, but they are going to be where you're going to get your referral business. Would anybody like on a regular basis, somebody to call and say, hey, I know somebody who's looking to buy or sell a house. Can you help them? Does anybody want those calls?
Mhm.
That's how you get them. You got to identify your
Yes.
connectors. Yes.
I have
Yep.
a friend who's a connector, but she just knows everybody. But how do I get her to be my referral source?
So the script, and I think it's in the script folder, and there's a script for referrals, and it's the same questions that we talked about when we talked about the business to business. So I wanted to ask you a question. Do you have a go-to person that you recommend people use when they're looking to buy or sell real estate? And they'll say yes or no. And if they say, yeah, I have my sister, right? My sister's a realtor, and I send everything her way. Say, oh, that's awesome. I love that. I need to get to know your sister. Let me ask you another question. What would it take for me to be number two? Right? Sometimes your sister might not be available. for the referral. So what would it take for me to be your number 2 person? And that I think is the best way to ask. We have to teach them also. So if she says she doesn't have anybody, then you say, I'd love to be that person. So when you run into somebody and they are looking to buy or sell, or maybe they want to talk about investing in real estate, here's what you do. You know, call me, give me their name and number, and I'll give them a call. And I promise I'll take really good care of them. Now, why do we want them to give us their name and number instead of giving the other people our name and number?
So we can follow up with those people.
It's the same thing as what happens when you give a business card in the grocery store. How are you going to follow up? Right? That friend may or may not call you, but if you call her, and if your friend says this is a good thing to practice and script practice. If the friend says, well, you know what, I don't really feel very comfortable just giving you her name and number. So, well, let me do this. Why don't you give her a call right now and just ask her if it's okay, and then you can give it to me. Right? And I'll just wait. Because I don't want to leave her hanging, and I certainly wouldn't want her to end up not getting taken care of. All right, let's finish this out. Okay. Suggest an alternative way to communicate, right? So if you don't like to talk on the phone, mention that you would like to Skype, text, or email to stay in contact, right? If they don't want to get together for coffee, but you'd like to see them, you say, you know what, I Zoom all the time. Would you like to get together on a Zoom? Right? We can chat some more and I can see your face if I haven't seen you for such a long time, whatever that looks like. So that's another option. And then ask them to send you pictures, right? If they're not on Facebook and they're not posting a lot on pictures and a lot on Facebook, and they got a new puppy, what can you do to create a relationship?
Get
Send me a
together
picture
with
of your
puppies.
puppy. Yeah, Dan, send me a picture of your puppies, right? Melissa, send me a picture of your kids. I bet they're getting so big, right? That you can do that. So, all right. And this is the biggest one. It's the last slide for a reason. I have a little Post-it note up here that says no is an appropriate answer.
No is a complete sentence.
And that is the N-O, not the K-N-O-W, right? Sometimes you have to say no. You can't say yes to everything, right? So if you have to say no, is there a way you can say no and accomplish your goals? You're in real estate, ask for a referral. If somebody calls and invites you to something and you really can't fit it into your schedule, what would you say?
I am sorry, but I have an appointment at that time.
Yeah, I'm showing a house. I am showing a house. I have a buyer and they so want to get into a house before the end of the year. I am so sorry. I would love to be there. Let's plan another time to get together in January. Right? And if there's anybody at your party that needs my help, surely send them my way, right? There I've asked for the referral too, even though I can't come to the party. So just some things to think about to stay focused, because I'm going to tell you what, I reported numbers yesterday to the leadership team. So I have to report numbers to your market center every Friday, and our conversations are down. Our production was down as a group in a whole. So I think that's part of that is holidays. And I think part of that is some of you guys aren't reporting your numbers. Just saying. I'm gonna make some changes. You're gonna be surprised in January. I
I'm
think
guilty.
that.
That'll be me.
Can you send out that slideshow?
Yes, I will. I will
Thank
send that out when I send out the video.
Awesome.
So that was helpful.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me about your December calls that you've made so far.
Who, me?
Anybody?
Oh, okay.
Have you started making holiday calls? Yeah. Have you started calling your sphere and letting them know, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's already December. I didn't want the month to get away without me telling you happy holidays. Started that, yeah. So those of you who are in the 12 weeks, or if you practice a quarterly call plan, I'm going to blow that up in December a little bit, because I am going to recommend that you call every single person in your database in December.
One way to help facilitate that is like, for instance, if you get a lead or a call that you hadn't been able to make contact with the person, you do make contact, take that opportunity at the end of the conversation to wish them a happy holiday. And that takes care of that phone call.
Yeah.
Of course, it could be another phone call too. You might want to do that, but what if the person continues then to be a hard person to get a hold of?
Well, even if you send a message, right? So, you know me, I want call, email, call, text, email, right? Call, message, text, email. So I'm going to make a call. I'm going to leave a message. The message is going to be, hey, this is Carla. And I was just calling. It's December and I wanted to wish you happy holidays. And I also had something really exciting I wanted to share with you. So give me a call back. That's going to be my message I'm going to leave. And then my text is going to be, hey, I just left you a message. I was just wishing you a happy holidays, but I had something quick I wanted to tell you. When you get a chance, give me a call back. Okay. And then I probably send an email that was the same way, or I'm going to send them a happy holidays email at some point in time. And I may say, I've been trying to reach you. Right. So that's the way my cadence is going to go. But why am I suggesting that you call everybody in December, not just the 8 letters that are your DTD2s or your quarterly calls for December?
Referrals.
Yeah, well, if you don't call and wish somebody a Merry Christmas, do you think they might remember that you didn't call them? They didn't hear from you in all of December, right? They're hearing from all kinds of people, right? It's the easy time to make the call, right? If you call them in December, it's the easy time. You aren't going to get an easier one. So those of you that are on a quarterly call plan, if you're in the 12-week program and you're doing the DTD2s, or you have your people set up on a quarterly call plan, still do your other things for them for their 2 letters. You know, check their Facebook, make sure their birthday's in your command and they're on a birthday smart plan. Make sure they're on a smart plan. Make sure they're in your command, right? Do all of those things that you would normally do with your 2 letters. But I'm going to challenge you in December to call every single person in your database. In fact, I am going to have, Keena's going to send out a form on Monday for you guys all to report how many contacts you have in your command. Okay. And then we are going to track the number of contacts you have in command against the number of calls that you report on your accountability sheet. And the person that makes the calls on their accountability sheet and gets closest to the number of people in their database, I am going to pay $100 towards your family reunion virtual thing. So family reunion is, I think it's $129. So I'm going to give you $100 towards your family reunion registration. So whoever gets closest to reporting on your accountability, your conversations to match your number of contacts. Is everybody clear on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, but you have to have at least 100 people in your database to qualify. So if you only have 10 in your database and you make 10 calls, that's not going to win. It's not gonna work. Okay. So no trying to shortcut this, right? You have to have at least 100 contacts. If you don't have 100 contacts, then you need to get 100 contacts in the database so that you can qualify for contests. So that's December contest number 1. What's the other thing that we need to do with our database in December? What's another touch we need to have with our database in December?
I like to send Christmas cards.
Christmas cards, absolutely. Jessica, I was hoping Jessica was going to be on, and I'm going to try to show this to you. I need to see if I could figure out how to scan it for you guys, but I love this. She sent out 2 different sets of Christmas cards. She has a set of Christmas cards that has her family picture on it. And then she has another set of Christmas cards that she sent out, and I got one of them. Let's see if you can see it. So she's put her picture on the front, and it just says, "Joy to you and yours," with her name. And then on the back, she wrote a little something. And what she wrote was, "Happy holidays. What a year. The real estate world has been a wild ride, and I have enjoyed getting to go on that ride with you. Thank you for trusting me and teaching me a little bit more about life along the way. Each person I meet impacts my life and my business in a way that no one else could. Thank you. I had a wonderful 2021 and I wish you all a happy new year and a fantastic 2022. That's what she wrote. I'm going to tell you what's great about what she wrote is at first I thought she custom wrote that for me. So what she wrote made me feel like it was just to me, but she sent it out. And then I got thinking how brilliant that was because everybody's going to think that she custom wrote it for them. So think about what you write on your Christmas card that you can make the person feel like, oh my gosh, right? That was a custom to me. That was brilliant. I mean, that was just so brilliant. But think about your Christmas cards. If you don't, she did this through Vistaprint. She sent me a text message this morning. She was going to come and then something came up and she couldn't come to tell you all about it. But she said, the cards are from Vistaprint, super easy to upload your photo and fiddle with the typing on the back and the front too. Lots of choices and there is typically a discount before Thanksgiving and Christmas. Order once and you'll get emails for the discounts. The cards come in predetermined bundles of 10. Order more than you need because you'll surely have forgotten someone and need to chuck in another in the mail, you know, along the way. The other thing I'll tell you is if you're going to order cards from Vistaprint, order some and then they're going to give you an opportunity to order some more cheaper. They always do that. And so don't order exactly the number you need because they're going to give you some opportunity to order a second batch. And then once you have your design in there, you can always go back and reorder. But you can also just go to the dollar store and buy Christmas cards. You can get Christmas cards off of Amazon. So tell me what the biggest challenge would be to get everyone in your database a Christmas card between now and December, or a holiday card, maybe not a Christmas card. No challenge?
Just sitting down and doing it. It's the challenge.
Down and doing it. And you know what? Handwritten is great, but it's a card. It's a Christmas card. Nobody's going to think much of it. You can just generate labels right out of command. Mailing labels. It'll just generate them. Just stick them on, right? You could just hand sign each card, like have it all printed at something, put a label on the front, and just to make it personal, get a red ink pen, right? And just sign them all. That would be another way. So we're going to have a Christmas card challenge. So the other challenge with Christmas cards is you have to spend, what is it 50? How many cents? What's postage? Anybody know what postage is for a standard envelope? 55 cents. So that's 58 cents. Okay. So that's the other challenge is going to be, what you quit, Jay, so they had to raise the postage?
You had to know.
Man.
Hey, there is a deal going on right now. You can get 100 forever stamps for $39.97. And I've seen it on Facebook. It actually says it's USPS.
Wow.
So you can probably just go into the post office. It's normally like $58.75 or something like that.
Well, let's look at their website because I like to order my stamps online. Let's see if they're running it online. That would be awesome.
I saw that on Facebook and I wasn't sure if it was real.
Yeah,
or
I
not.
haven't looked it up,
Sure.
but it did say USPS on it, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna drop by and double check, but.
Well, let's see. Festive holiday. One of the reasons why I like to buy my stamps online is because I want something that's going to be not Christmas, you know, because I have different people with different beliefs. And so I a lot of times when you go to the, oh my gosh, look at this. They got otters in the snow. I'm not seeing that there's
I got otters.
online.
I got 4 packs of otters. They're so cute.
Those otters are absolutely adorable.
They're the cutest.
Yeah. So, oh man, I gotta get those. I love it when they bring out new pictures. I haven't been out in a while. I have a whole drawer of stamps because I pre-order my stamps, so I never have to
What's that little pink guy with the thing in his belly? What's he?
What?
That little pink guy stamp.
All right, hang on. Let me go down here. Pink guy.
The little monster.
That guy there.
He's a monster.
Oh,
That's
okay.
his monster stamps.
And that's hair.
Oh,
It's
that's
got a hairy
hair.
chest.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, gotcha.
I love it. Oh, that one's cool.
That is cool.
I never was a stamp collector, but I like stamps. Okay, so the challenge for Christmas cards, the people whoever sends out the most Christmas cards, I'm gonna have a $50 Amazon gift card for you.
Oh, that's me.
Help you cover the cost of your postage in another way. So you can buy something special for yourself.
So,
Or you can buy note cards to send out next year. You can buy birthday cards to send out next year. You could either use it for yourself personally, Christmas presents, or, well, it won't be Christmas presents because it'll be January when you get it. But
so is Gene gonna redo his form?
we're gonna have a form come out, right? So, November. If you did note cards in November, Keen, we're gonna announce that on Monday. So make sure you fill out the form that Keen sent out for November. That's a good reminder, Armand. So Christmas cards. Now here's the thing. I like New Year's cards. So I'm gonna extend this through the first week of January. Because if you'd like to send out New Year's cards instead of Christmas cards. Now, why do I say I like New Year's cards? Why would I send New Year's cards instead of Christmas cards?
There's not as much mail you're getting, so you're more likely to see the card.
Memorable, yes.
Mhm.
It also gives me more time in December. I mean, clearly, it gives me more time in December to get them out.
I've got one New Year's card in my life and I still remember, and it was like 10 years ago. So I thought that was cute.
Plus that I don't run the risk of upsetting anyone, not knowing what their beliefs are and what they believe. Some people think Santa Claus is, there's just all different, and I just want to embrace everybody, so I just skip it. So, okay, so Christmas cards, we've covered the Christmas card challenge. All right, so we have 2 more things I want to cover before I pass out.
Carla, when does the Christmas card challenge start?
Well, like, I'm not going to exclude Jessica because she was just a jump. So it's now, right?
Okay.
Just at the end of the month, Keen will send out another form for you to report the number of Christmas cards that you sold or that you sent. And yeah, so we'll just keep track, right? Keep track of how many you got. And I'll start asking how many have you sent? Just like Joni, we did this for November as well. And just because you sent them a note in November doesn't mean you have to exclude them in December, right? All right, so in the script folder, and I think I can put this in the chat as well. I did put some, Armand asked for them early this week, and I put some holiday scripts in the 4th quarter folder in the script folder at the PC library. And the first one has to do with, we've covered listing objections. There's a whole sheet. The holiday objections that we went over a couple weeks ago at the workshop are in there. But there's another objection handler here, but then there's also just a holiday call script. So what I'd like to do, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about KW command. And then when we get to the end today, Anthony's here, we're gonna cover CMA here in a little bit because Anthony has a CMA issue. So I'm gonna let those of you that are comfortable with CMAs go a little early, and then those of you that want to stay, we're gonna work on a CMA with Anthony. That's the rest of my plan for right now. But first, we're gonna go practice for a little bit. We're gonna go practice a holiday script. So I'm gonna get you the link so you have it in the chat if you don't already have it. And I want you to practice 2 things. I want you to practice finishing quick, right? So whoever's the answering person, give them a hard time, like start talking, a lot, make that a little challenging. Let's practice, build some muscle on getting off of the calls. I also put the script in the chat if you don't want to go look it up on with the link. So everybody has the script?
Sure.
We're gonna, let's see how many of you are there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, I'm gonna do seven rooms of 2. Okay, so that way we can do this quicker. So 7 rooms of 2, and I'm gonna do 20 minutes. So 10 minutes each. So one of you call the other one and get off in 10 minutes. Well, let's see. Let's do 2 rounds. So do 2 calls, get off in 5 minutes. and then get off in 5 minutes. So I will announce for you in 5-minute increments for the next 20 minutes. So you can swap back and forth and try 2 times to build some muscle. All right, everybody ready? Here
Hey,
we go.
Carla.
Yes.
So I'm working at a house and I don't have my reading glasses on, so I can listen in, but I don't know how much.
Well, you can still have a conversation, right? It's you're just
Yes.
asking about, so the script is just, well, here, let's just do this together first. Let's do it together first. That's a good point. Let's do it together first. All right, so the script is just, I just wanted to touch base with you and wish you a happy holiday. And then how's your family? Then we're gonna go through the Ford questions, right? Their job, their recreations and their dreams. You know, what do you got planned for December? Dreams. Yeah, have you started setting your goals for next year, right? And then do you know anybody that's thinking of buying a house? Maybe somebody at work got a promotion or is having a baby or going through a divorce. Horrible thing to do in the holidays. The holidays are a time when many people put these things on hold, which can make sellers very anxious. Sellers who don't want to go through the winter are offering some great prices, and I'd love to help you get a friend a deal on a house. So that may be something you want to say. The other thing you could say is what? There's less competition. It's been really challenging for buyers, and now there's a little bit fewer buyers. So it'd be easier to get a house this time of the year. Would that be another thing that you could say there? And then just keep me in mind, and give me a call if you hear anybody who needs my help, right? And then wish them a happy holidays. So that's all it is, Joseph. All right, we got the rooms. I'm sending you out, and I'll give you 5-minute warnings. So just practice having a conversation real quick, getting off in 5 minutes. Ready? Go. Alexa, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
So is there anything else that anybody wants to cover today before we jump into the CMA? Okay. Well, you are welcome to go enjoy your day, or you're welcome to stay and walk through the CMA process with us. And I promise that I thank you for bearing with me. It was a rough hour and a half for me. But I promise I'll feel better on Monday. Be back to my normal.
Rest.
Hopefully I still managed to help out today. Something was beneficial, help you move your business forward. Don't forget about our challenges, right? Note cards, contacts. So be getting ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have you capture a screenshot of your command with the number of contacts in your command and send that to Keen. And then that's how we're going to judge against your accountability. If you do not fill out your accountability forms, then you're not going to have contacts registered and you're not going to win. See, I bribed again, didn't I? I'm bribing you with family. Oh, we didn't talk about family reunion. Has everybody looked at family reunion? You know what your options are for family reunion? Anthony, hang tight just for a minute. I want to do this. See, this is what happens when you forget to put something on your list. All right, so if you go to Google and you search for, are you seeing my screen that says family reunion? All I did was search for Keller Williams family reunion 2022. You can go here, right? And you can read about it. you have two options. The two options are in person in Orlando, $99, $999. This is going to get you in person. It's if you have the ability, this is an absolutely amazing opportunity. They will do hotel blocks, partner up for the cost of hotels, to share the expenses. And right now Southwest has stupid cheap flights. So if it's at all possible for you to do in person, I highly recommend it. The other option is going to be virtual. Did any of you guys do family reunion virtual last year? Armand did. Anybody else? Annie did. It's great virtually. If you did mega camp virtually, it's the same thing. It's awesome. It's not the full experience, but it's $129. So one way or the other, I would encourage everyone to do one or the other, right? I can't say enough about family reunion. It will change your business. You know, there's a bold law that says how you show up here is how you show up everywhere. What that means is how you show up at the things that are offered to help move your business forward. That's how your business is going to be. So if you go to family reunion, either in person or virtually, and get that knowledge and education, that's going to move your business forward. That's going to show up in your business. So, all right.
Shoot.
Bless you.
Thank you, sorry. I thought I was muted.
All right. Anthony, if you're ready, you can go ahead and share your screen.
All right.
Show me what you got and where we are. So what's the address of the house that you're doing a CMA for?
It is 13562 Silver Spur in Carmel, Indiana.
And is this in a subdivision?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay. So
I've
what is
I
your
can
challenge?
I can show you what I've started from what I
Okay.
think I started for my CMA. I just got so confused I just stopped. I think I started it.
Is that RPR?
Yes.
Yeah. Let me just search it. I think that'd be easier. Yeah, I think I deleted it because I got confused. So I think I just did the clear and start all over because I had something in here and I stopped.
All right. Do you just want me to walk you through how to do one? You want to stop sharing and I'll share?
Yeah, I was just confused about the numbers and things I saw. That was really the
All
main
right.
confusion.
If you hit stop share, it won't let me share until you hit stop share. Okay. So we want to do a CMA. Let's just do this really quickly. So it doesn't take very long. I've put the address into RPR. Okay. And it's one of those that Google, or it must be on a cul-de-sac because it's a bad picture. We can go move a little bit. It's clearly on a cul-de-sac and we can see it. It's, which one is it? Is it this one or this one? The one on the right or the one on the left?
I'm not sure. I was just looking at the original picture I had.
Okay.
Well, zoom in, Carla, and on the plus sign over on the right, lower right. Yeah. And you can see if you can see the address.
Yeah, no, it's not getting there, but there's another
Try
way.
the mailbox.
We can just go to the, it's fine. We'll be fine. Do you know, Anthony, is it a 1-story or 2-story?
I don't have it in front of me right now. No, I'm sorry. I don't have any of the information in front of me.
Well, if we look at, we can find this out from RPR. They say that it's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,186 square feet home, right? And they have a value on it of 322, and they are giving it 4 stars of confidence. So I feel pretty good about that number. So I have a feeling whatever I do, I'm gonna come pretty close to that number, and that's unless these stats are not correct, right? And that's what we have to meet when we go to our listing appointment. We say, you know, we really, in order to do a very good CMA, we're gonna have to see the house. We have to verify the data, right? If we go down here to the property facts, it's gonna tell
I
us.
usually go to the. I'm sorry, Carla. My internet's like cutting out. It's like kind of cutting all over the place. But I was gonna say I usually go to the BLC to check the facts, or I look at the tax records.
So both could be wrong.
No.
Yes, both could be wrong. Either could be wrong. The tax
What?
records could
Oh,
definitely be wrong.
Oh,
And the
okay.
BLC might be wrong as well. If somebody made a mistake, it happens all the time.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the last agent assumed that the tax records were right, right? So it could
Yeah.
be wrong. So you have to verify when you get there. You have to verify. They could have also added on, right? Is
Yeah.
it possible that they could have added on, made some
Yeah,
adjustments?
that's very true.
We
Yeah.
always have to verify. We are not gonna, if you guys were, that one day this week, I asked you guys somewhere along the line, oh, no, that was on the exam study group. My daddy told me a long time ago what the word assume meant. I'm not going to say what it is here because we're recording, but if you don't know what assume meant is, look at it. We don't assume anything, so we always have to ask. But we're going to have to start with these facts. This is all we have. Okay, so we've got 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. There are 2.5 baths. 2,186 square feet, a 2-car garage. It was built in 97. Okay. That doesn't have a basement, and it's a 2-story house. Okay. So that is what RPR is telling us is to be the truth. As long as that's true, then with 4 stars, we're going to feel pretty good about this number.
Yeah.
Now we're going to need to go into the multiple listing service to see how we feel about that 322. Since it's in a neighborhood, it makes that a lot easier. So we need to know how many square feet we have. So I wrote down 2,186 square feet. Now I'm going to go to my bore. Did that switch for you guys? Are you now seeing the MLS? And
Yes.
I know that this is in Bentley Farms because I looked. Okay, so this is the best way to find only houses that are in this neighborhood. Now, why do we want to start with only houses in this particular neighborhood?
Because they were probably built by the same builder or a similar plan.
Yes, and at the same era, is it possible, especially in Carmel, well, all over town, right? Is it possible that we could have 2 neighborhoods side by side that would not price out the same? Could there be a neighborhood next door that has $1 million houses in it?
Yeah.
Would those be similar? Would those be comparable?
And I think that's what I saw on the RPR. Is there a way to go and search for that neighborhood specifically in RPR? Because I
No,
saw
you
it said
gotta
something
go-
about a geographical
You're
location.
gonna go to well, you have to draw it on a map if you want to do
Yeah.
that. The best thing to do is
Okay.
to come back to the BLC. Okay, so
Gotcha.
I've put in Bentley Oaks is what it is, Bentley Oaks. I put in Bentley Oaks and I put asterisks on both side of it because that way if somebody mistyped it, it comes up right. And I'm actually going to take the S off. Okay, and I'm going to put, it didn't change it, but sometimes it will. So just know if you go down to that wild card, you know, you want to make sure you get it. Well, I'm only getting 2 matches. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to look for the whole year just so I can see what additional there is. And I still only have 2 matches. So that means this is not a very active neighborhood. Okay. The other thing that I need to do is I need to make sure I'm only looking at 2-story houses, and now I only have 1 match, right? So now I am going to have to go out of the neighborhood, but first I want to take a look at this 1 match. So this 1 match is on Bentley Way, and it is 2,734 square feet. So it is a lot bigger, and it sold at 370. This is suggesting to me that that 322 is a good number, right? If this is a lot bigger and sold for 370, would that suggest that my number is going to probably make sense? So I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to look at the pictures so that when I go to my listing appointment, I have a reference, right? I'm probably going to print these pictures actually, so I can show them the pictures about whatever we came up with. Now look at this. It was listed at 350 and sold at 370. Now I'm really feeling pretty good about my 322 that RPR came up with. All right. So now I'm
It
going to go
could be
back.
a- It
Pardon?
could be a little low then, couldn't it?
Uh,
The house. the Silver Spur house?
Probably not, because if we're gonna go back and do a per square foot here in a minute,
Okay.
Yeah.
but I just want to get, I'm telling you what my thought process is, because I'm judging everything against that 322 because the computer already did already did evaluation at 322. So I'm comparing against that to see how I feel about it. All right, so now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to now search for everything within, not that, I need the address, everything within, well, first of all, I need to see what this house looks like because we didn't know what this house looks like, right? So I'm going to go in and I'm going to do 3271 Bentley. And I'm going to find the listings for this. So it's sold 3 times. Okay.
That's the,
Oh, that's
not the Silver
That's
Spurs.
different.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was confused about what I was seeing.
Did I tell you guys I don't feel good?
Yeah, she's not feeling well today.
No, you're okay.
13562 silver. Okay, now we're gonna
Silver,
get that
mhm.
house. Has it sold? Yes, it's sold. It's only sold once and it sold for $166,000. Okay. It sold
Maybe
for
Merrill.
$166,000 in 2002. So they've lived in it for quite a while. That number doesn't tell us anything, but we can definitely look at pictures of it. So now we know at least what it looked like in 2002. So when we go look for other houses, we're looking for something built around 1997, 2 stories. But looky here, what do we see here?
3-car garage.
3-car garage. So is our data and RPR correct?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
No. So first thing we've got to do is we're going to go back here to RPR and we're going to adjust because now we're not doing 322 anymore. Now we're doing, where's garage? Now we're going to go 3 and save. And see what that does for the value. So it didn't change the value, but it will. We're going to be looking for 3 bedrooms. So now, Armand, I agree with you. Now my 322 is suspect, right? Because I know that it was a 3-car garage. Now I got an idea because I have to go out of Bentley Oaks neighborhood to find some more sales. And now I know what it looks like, right? So I know what I'm looking for. So, okay, now I'm going to go back out here and I'm going to search for houses around 13562 Silver Spur. And we'll start with a half a mile. We have 12 and now we are going to go just 2 levels and we have 16. Okay. So now we're going to take a look at these and we're going to see which ones look most like ours. And I like to go to the agent brief so I can see pictures. Okay. And then I'm going to go through and say, well, does this look like it? Well, that one looks like that one might look okay. That one doesn't have any brick. And it is on over a half acre. And we were only 10,000 square feet. So I'm on our lot size. So I'm probably going to discount, take that one off. This one looks a lot like it. And we're at 10,000 square feet lot size and it is at 13,000. So that's not too bad. That one's 10, all brick, but I think I'm going to include that one. That one looks pretty good. We don't know exactly what the lot size is, but look what it is. It's on a cul-de-sac and it also looks like it has a 3-car garage. So that one looks like that one may be really good for us.
But it's also 2676 like Bentley was.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit bigger, sure, instead of 2186, but we can make that adjustment on a per square foot basis.
Okay.
It meets all the other, we're not going to find the exact same size. Well, we might, but it's unlikely. All right, so this one's nice. So that's a good size square lot size. We just want to make sure we're not at a half acre or above because people, they pay more for half acre or above lots, right? That's going to be all right. That one's the one that we already, that's in our neighborhood. So we want that one. That one looks okay. So we've got a lot of sales here that look very similar. That one looks like it might be a bi-level or a tri-level, so I'm probably gonna leave that one off. A bi-level, it looks like a bi-level to me. And that one's bigger. All right, so when I pick the ones that I want, I'm just gonna hit quick CMA and see what happens. This is where we're gonna see all the numbers that we need to see. The reason why we do RPR instead of this is that this doesn't tell our seller anything. This only tells us something. Then we go back and put this into RPR to make it pretty. So if we look at this, we have two that we picked and they are pretty far apart in per square foot price. Okay, but this one, oh, this one has a basement because it's got square footage optional, right? So looks like we're at about 161 a square foot. And if we look down here at the 161s, these have some little basements on them. What happens if we do 160 a square foot? 2186, 160 times, it's 349, 350, 160 a square foot. So we're probably going to be between 160 and 165 a square foot. Do you see why I think that?
Mhm.
The average is 163.50 a square foot on
Yeah.
the solds, right? I've already can tell why this 214 is not right. It's got a very large finished basement. If I went back and look at those pictures, I bet there's something pretty spectacular about that. If I go down here and I look at, there's a 3-car garage that's a 4-bedroom, 1 bath, and it's in Bentley Oaks. It's at 135 a square foot on the low end. So I'm probably going to want to go around 160 to start with as a list price. 160 a
Okay.
square foot puts me at 349,760. So I'm going to recommend listing this at 350. Now, if I want to make the report say that, because I want to give them a nice report that gives them a range, I'm going to print this. Okay, so I have all of these addresses. Then I'm going to go back into RPR and I am going to do a CMA. Okay. And when I do my CMA, first thing I got to do is confirm the facts. And I know that now, if it doesn't say here that it is 3, so it's up that. So I'm going to confirm the facts and close. And then I'm going to go in here and find comps. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in add a known property, and I'm going to type in all the ones off my quick CMA that I want. So I'm going to type in 1371 Bentley Way. I'm going to pick that one. Okay. And then I'm going to put, I didn't print the other ones. I'm not going to finish this, but I'm going to put them all in, right? I'm going to put them all in. And then after I put them all in, well, let's get one more so I can show you how to do this. So I've added 2. Okay. And I would go through and add the other solds. I would add them all. The one that I probably am not going to add is this one on Spring Mill Boulevard. I probably am not going to, knowing the area, I'm probably not going to include either of the 2 pendings. Even though I like the number here, I could add it. Maybe I'll go ahead and add it right now just so you can see what it does. That's weird. I can't even find it. It probably wants BLVD. There you go. All right, so now I've got 3 that I've added, and it's a pending. So now I'm going to update the valuation and close. Although, Anthony, you're going to want to put them all in. So you're going to want to put all of these addresses in. I'm just not going to do that right now. All right, then I'm going to go to adjust comps, because what I want to do is I want to end up at about 160 a square foot, right? That's where I want to end up with. So I'm going to slide this little slider one way or the other, right? This one's at 135 a square foot, and I want to get it up to around 160 because that's what I've already, my analysis suggested it should be. So I am going to slide it till I get there, right? You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So remember, if I want this number to go up, then I'm going to slide it to the left. Remember that, how we compare to comps?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. So this one's at 179. It's above what I thought it should be. So what am I going to do? I'm going to slide it to the right until I can get, and I'm going to do all my comps that way. So when I get done over here, I'm setting it about 160. So there, I'm right at 160. Let's say I've done all of them and I'm right at 160. Then I'm just going to say update valuation and close. And then look what it did. It's given me a result. So it's given me a range of between 325 and 372. And it's going to be pretty close to 350. So then I can create my report.
That was a lot of steps compared to just doing it on the BLC.
Well, but you get the really nice report when you do it on the BLC. Yeah. If you send them just this doesn't mean anything to them. And if you do the full CMA on the BLC, I just don't think the report is as nice, and it doesn't start with the computer generated value.
I love the RPR reports.
Yeah. So it's your choice, Lakeisha. I mean, a lot of people, I know Scott Smith teaches to do the CMA on, and that if you want to learn how to do the CMA on my board, go out to KW Training My Way and watch a Scott Smith video on how to do a CMA. This is how I do a CMA because I like the reports.
Okay, so you like RPR much better. And when they get the report, do you email it to them or do you print it out?
I take it to my listing appointment with me and I leave it with them.
Okay.
Anytime I brought that to a listing appointment, they love it.
When you
Which
look
one
at
do
one of
you
the,
use on RPR? Because some of them can get really long. So
well, I choose what I want it to say. I choose what I
Right.
want in there. So here, we'll just do this real quick. So
I
I
do
create the
property reports.
report. I create the report and I do a seller's report. Okay. And so when I do the seller's report, I am going to pick what I want. So you just click on it. Now I can check box what I want. And so I want the comp analysis result and the comp analysis range, right? If I've made a huge change, let's say it was listed as a 2-bedroom, the computer thought it was a 2-bedroom, it's really a 4-bedroom. I might check this box too. I'm never going to check listing price because it's not currently listed, right? So that doesn't make any sense to have that. I do the home facts, but I take the homeowner facts off. People get freaked out when they realize what's public record about them. So I just take it off so they don't get freaked out. Extended home facts, I usually take that off. AARP, a livability index, I just take that off. Refined value, we need the refined value if we refined the value, if we made any adjustments to it, right? So we need that. Property photos, it's just going to be that picture from Google, which in this case isn't a very good one, but it is what it is. I'm going to have the assessed values, but I always take off the mortgage records because nobody wants to know that they don't really like the idea that people can find out how much they owe on their mortgage. And then they end up having this whole conversation that you don't want to have at your listing appointment. And then I highly limit all of this. So this selected limit market, recent market activity, and all of these things, the market activity pending sold, I take all of that out. It's about 30 pages of just stuff that doesn't mean anything. So I put my comps and I let them have the market health charts in comparison, and then just a little snapshot of what's going on in the market. Also, anything that's happened with this particular property here, I know that I really don't care about a 2002 sale, so I might take that one off. I will always want my refined value, my comp analysis, and then I always take off the seller proceeds and the about RPR and our data. The seller proceeds is a net sheet and it doesn't fill out. You can do a net sheet. I always did my net sheet through Title Alliance. So however you do your net sheet, that's where you want to do that. And then that's what I use. And then I run the report.
okay, cool.
And if we wait a minute, Lakeisha, just so you can see it, it's going to ring a doorbell here in a little bit when it's done making the report. And this report looks like I spent an entire day putting it together. It is, I think it's impressive. And
It really is.
that's why I choose to do my CMAs this way, but you absolutely can do your CMA through the BLC. I just can't really teach you how to do it because I've never done it that way. But Scott Smith teaches it. Joni,
I know, I popped in.
you popped in. What you up to?
Well, I was gonna come this morning and then I had a showing.
Ah,
And we're getting ready to write an offer and I had a question. So I thought, oh, she might still be on. So
I am,
Fine.
but why don't you ask your question while we wait for the doorbell to ring? Oh, look, wait a
well,
minute,
yeah, do the doorbell. Do the doorbell.
just a second here. All right, so
'Cause
here's
I
what
think
it
our
looks like.
PRs are amazing and they look amazing and they make you look
So
like.
yeah, the picture here is not so great. You could swap it out if you wanted to go out and get your own picture. You could swap that out to make your report. It's going to have your branding on it. As long as you just have to set your branding up. It's going to tell you, and I love this because now it's told them what the computer thought it was, and then I didn't just go with what the computer said. So I wanted to really dive deep into this and make sure I had a good value for you. So I went ahead and did my own comparable analysis report, and I actually came up a little higher than that. So I came up at 350. So we'll talk about this in a little bit, but my 350 falls in their range, and I'll tell you why I think maybe we should list it at 350, but let's go through the report. This is what I would say at my listing presentation. So here's the details. Now, first thing I need to do is I need to make sure everything here is correct. And I'm going to walk through and I'm going to ask them all of these things. Anthony, this is where I am verifying this data. I may have to come back and change. Maybe my 350 is wrong if I find out that they have a basement, for instance, right? So, and then here's just a bunch of information. So this is just some information that you can look at later. I'm going to leave this report for you, but this is just telling you about what's going on with the property, what's going on with the market, and you know, where we are as far as list price versus sale price. So just want to give you some information here that would be helpful. They're never going to look at it, but as you're flipping the pages, they are going to go, oh my goodness, wow. One time I ever had anybody come back and ask me a question. That's it. So they got all this information, and then they have the comps map so they can see which comps we chose. And then they can see which comps we chose, and the details on it looks very much like an appraisal, doesn't it? It's very, very impressive. And then it's got a sheet for each one. If there's one that they keep saying, no, but my house is like that one, we can now go to the little sheet here and we can show them, yeah, but that one has a 2,000 square foot finished basement, right? That your house doesn't have. And here we can see why we know that. And then we have this recommended pricing strategy at the very end. So I got this down to 16 pages, Annie.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And here we go. And then I have them sign. If they agree with me, we're going to list at 350. I'm going to write on here at my appointment. I'm going to write in here, list at 350, and I'm going to have them sign it. Now, when they come back and they say that I listed it at the wrong price, even though it's in the listing agreement, I have one more. They're not ever going to say that, but it lets them be in control, right? It gives them the opportunity to agree to it and sign it. And it's impressive, I think. So that's why I use RPR. All right, Anthony, is that clear as mud? You're going to do the exact same thing. You're just going to put in all those addresses.
Yep.
And I will just send, since I did the quick CMA, I'm going to save it and email it to you so you can make sure you end up with the same ones that I did.
Thanks. You just saved me about 20 minutes there.
Well, I want you to do it. I don't want to save you 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
I don't want you to short, because this way you'll know how to do it next time.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
I just want to send you mine because I don't know if I'm going to be available later, and I want you to be able to, if you're having a hard time, you can know why.
Yeah, this one really helped. I typically don't have a problem doing the CMAs, but when I was looking at the numbers and some of the numbers I was seeing, it was like there was a home like a mile down the road that was 700,000, and I was like the same amount of bedrooms. And I was confused.
You just can't. And here's the other thing: if you ever really just are struggling, what you have to do is get in the car. Unfortunately, you just got to go and drive, because sometimes it really just, and sometimes it still isn't going to make sense. I mean, sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and there was a home like 1.2 miles away, same amount of bedrooms, and it's at 700,000. And I was,
oh yeah, Anthony, I bet there's another one within that area that might be. You're in Carmel, right?
Yeah.
There's $1 million houses up there that are smaller than mine.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, Joni dear, what
You feel better.
Thank you. I'm gonna stop the recording, Joni, before we do that.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.